SH Figuarts Imperial Stormtrooper is in the DorkLair! Welcome to another DorkLair action figure review. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and stay tuned for the question of the day at the end of the review. Now, let's take a look at this Imperial Grunt. So this was originally one of the very first SH Figuarts Star Wars figures. It was released in, I think, April of 2015 alongside Darth Vader, and those were the first two releases. So this is an oldie, and there was a time when this particular release was actually really hard to find, the Stormtrooper, but eventually they made an upgraded version of the Stormtrooper, and it's much better than this one. So this figure will be the subject of our episode for the podcast, number 68, I believe, which will be coming out the same day that this releases. So if you're not subscribed to the podcast, check it out on iTunes. This will be the feature figure of episode 68. Overall, this figure looks pretty good, in my opinion. I kind of like the way it looks. It's a little bit stylized. The helmet isn't quite accurate and whatnot, but I do like the way the figure looks. Unfortunately, it has some really bad articulation. So my overall impression with this figure is it's just not as good as the Rogue One Stormtrooper that they released about 2 years ago. Quickly, let's take a look at the packaging. SH Figuarts comes with this standard box. I like it very much. It's a very clean, compact type of packaging. In fact, let me go grab a Black Series box real quick, and you can see the size comparison of it. So over here is the size of a regular Black Series box. So you can see this thing is much more compact. I like it very much. It has a gold lettering on it that just gives it like a premium feel to it. So quite a good packaging. Most of them come in that size. There's a few different sizes, but for the most part, they come in that size. And back to the figure. Let's take a look at the scale on this guy. So I'm going to stand him up a little straighter and just compare him to a couple other figures of the same scale, of the 6-inch scale. So two Stormtroopers. So this is the Black Series regular Stormtrooper, which is a great figure in my opinion. And this is the Bandai 112 model kit Stormtrooper. This is actually the Han Solo version with the Stormtrooper helmet on it, but it's basically just the regular Stormtrooper with a Han head. So you get a sense. In my opinion, this is the best one out there. This thing is really sweet. That's the model kit. Pretty easy build too, so I recommend it. And here's how it looks next to an Articulated Icons Ninja. This is basically a slightly modified one to look like Snake Eyes. A little bit taller. SH Figuarts tend to run a little small. And then here it is next to a Mezco 112 Collective Batman. Just for some size comparisons and to see how it looks with other figures. In general, I think it scales pretty well with the other 6-inch Stormtroopers. It might be a little short for a Stormtrooper, I guess. But let's now take a look at the sculpt and paint and accessories and all that. So he comes with this blaster. I forget what the type is, but the regular Stormtrooper blaster. No extra paint on there, which is a little disappointing for the more expensive SH Figuarts figures, but it's like really stiff, nice plastic. I like it. The sculpt is good, but again, it would have been nice if it had some detailed paint. Some of the other releases in the Figuarts line do have some nicely painted accessories. It comes with, let me get all the hands off, and then we can get them all together. So it comes already with 2 fists on when you take it out of the box. It comes with cradling hands, so you can hold the blaster on either side, and then it comes with the gripping hands for the blaster, which can also double as point. The trigger finger doesn't go on the trigger, it just points. So those can double as a pointing figure if you want it to sort of be a captain commanding your squadron or whatever. So 3 sets of hands. Let me pop these fists back on him. They're a little tight. I get a little nervous sometimes with Figuarts putting the hands on. So once you work with them a little bit, though, they're fine. Overall, I think the sculpt is good. I think the helmet is not accurate. It's a little long face, in my opinion. Kind of looks like the Clone War, the Rebels cartoon, actually. But I like it. I mean, I know a lot of people complain about it, but I think it doesn't look terrible. It's just a little different is all. A little stylized, maybe. Some nicely detailed paintwork, though. Can get in there. These are actually sculpted. We've got some lines in the pouch on the belt. The belt is a separate piece. It's nicely detailed. Buttons and various pieces in the torso part. The inner body is a little bit shiny. I kind of like a matte finish. I ended up painting my model kit more of a matte finish on the inside and leaving it shiny on the white. So the black is matte and the white is shiny. This is all shiny pretty much all the way around wherever you look. Pretty nice paintwork. I mean, there's no paint really. It's all white, but it's a clean. Where there is paint, it's pretty clean. In the mask, no slop or anything really. And then, as far as the articulation goes, that's where this thing falls really short. The shoulders have decent articulation. Well, let's start with the head, actually. The head can go back this far and then forward that far. There's a couple joints inside the neck. There's one at the base of the neck, and then there's a barbell at the top of the neck. So there's kind of like a variety of different movements you can give it, but the range isn't far. Up, down, and stuff like that. Like there's a wide variety of positions. It's just that not a lot of range. The shoulders, though, are really nice. Lots of good articulation in the shoulders, and there's this articulated shoulder pad that gives you some access. Inside the joint, there's a butterfly. There's unfortunately no upper bicep swivel. It's that's not swiveling at the bicep, that's swiveling at the top of the joint, which creates a lot of problems when you're trying to pose it to aim the weapon. The elbow is double jointed, but it doesn't really go past 90 degrees. So you can bring it up and over and it goes to 90, or you can keep the wrist armor lower and it still only goes 90. So no matter how you try to trick it, it still just goes 90 degrees, which really stinks. The hand is on a joint. It's on there in a ball, and then the joint is a ball with a hinge. So you can't bring the arm across the front and then down. There's no bringing it down, which is a huge bummer there. And then the torso has some decent articulation, crunches forward that far, and then crunches back really far. The legs also have garbage articulation because of the armor. The articulation's there, it's just the armor gets in the way. There's no drop down, so the top of the leg armor is always going to get caught. And you're really not going to get a kick forward much more than this. It just doesn't go forward. Unless you turn it and bring it forward like that, in which case he's kicking out to the side. And there is a swivel at the top there, which does allow for that side motion. The legs go out decently, so you can get some nice wide action stances out of them. And then the knees suffer the same exact problem as the elbows, where they don't go more than 90. And again, you can't trick it further. It's just, that's where it goes. Pretty good ankle articulation. Rocking forward and back as well. And then their toes are on a joint. So, articulation-wise, the articulation's there. It just doesn't actually, effectively, it doesn't work out. It just does not articulate the way an SH Figuarts figure should. So, quite frankly, it's not a great Stormtrooper. It kind of like can fill your ranks. If you can find a bunch of them for cheap or something, you can fill in the ranks, but you're not going to get a bunch of awesome action poses out of this guy, unfortunately. And I know they're going to be putting out a Luke and a Han. Well, at least they teased it. I don't know how soon that'll be, but they teased a Luke and a Han in Stormtrooper gear. I don't think it's on this body. I think they're using the newer Rogue One body. And that's pretty much it for the review. It's a figure I like, but I think it's going to disappoint many people because of the lack of articulation. I think it looks good. I just think it doesn't move well. And question of the day. What is your favorite army builder? Do you like to army build? Do you like to collect a bunch of troops? Do you like to amass a huge legion? Stormtroopers? Goblins? What do you like to army build? And thanks for watching. Make sure you check out our other videos like our review of the Locutus of Borg. Find links to the DorkLair Collecting Podcast and our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages in the description below. And may the Force be with you. DorkLair!